What's up? It's Dainty, and today I'm going to be taking you on the Coogee to Bondi walk. It is a must if you are visiting Sydney, Australia. I've been on this walk before. It is about 2 to 2.5 hours long, and we are going to go past some of Australia's most beautiful and iconic beaches and cliffs and some just really pretty scenic spots. I can't wait to show you, and I can't wait for you to come along with me. I actually used to live a couple blocks down that way, so I would come here all the time. I would walk my dog. There are already so many dogs walking. So many people here. It's so early in the morning. It's like 6 a.m. and it is so crowded already. I just can't believe how busy it is this early in the morning. Like, this is gonna make me sound old, but when I lived here, like, Coogee Beach wasn't that popular. Like, it wasn't a busy place at all. But this park here, it's not that pretty, but I used to come here with my friends from school all the time. This is where we'd often have like birthday parties and barbecues and stuff like that. And I would take my old dog here. Lots of good memories. I think it's a pretty Australian thing to get up early, come to the beach, work out, even take a dip in the ocean. Aussies and tourists coming here, it really makes me miss my old dog, Charlie. This was like our hangout spot. Come walk along the beach, walk along the parks. I used to get coffee there all the time. There's a little cafe there. So this 2 to 2.5 hour long walk, it's just basically taking us along all the beaches, all the cliffs. It's just going along the coast. We're gonna be right by the ocean the entire time, and you'll get to see all of the hidden gems along the way. There's so many. Here we have Coogee, which is a relatively big beach, and some of the other ones along the way are very small. I know at least one of them doesn't even have sand, and where we're going to end up in Bondi, the famous Bondi, is way bigger than this beach here. Okay, let's stick to the trail because otherwise this is gonna take double the amount of time. Yeah, a lot of people ask me why I'm not like tan, because I guess a lot of people think Australians are tan because they're always out in the sun and whatnot. I'm not tan because it's ingrained in you from school to always wear sunscreen because the UV here is really strong, and that's important. It's just so peaceful here. I can't believe people run this whole length. It's crazy. You see that spider? I believe that's a golden orb. Oh, hello. It's so beautiful around here. I love all the birds singing. Even though it's such a, obviously, stunning, gorgeous, expensive place to live, it's still so quaint. Like, there's a little bench there. I want to sit on that bench. And all these apartments, they're quite old. But yeah, it feels quite quaint, doesn't it? This is actually a house that I helped design when I was an interior designer. You can't see it because there's a big hedge, but trust me, it's cool. One of the things you have to watch out for doing this walk though, there are some spiders in spider webs. Not dangerous ones or anything, and they do stay out of the way, like nice and high, but you wouldn't want to run into one because some of them are like pretty fat. So that was beach number 2. I remember when I would come here, like just walking on the rocks and all the little rock pools. I used to pretend to be a mermaid. I went through a mermaid phase. I just love the beach culture in Australia. I think everyone kind of by default is kind of a bit of a beach bum, even me. Like, I'm not someone that actually goes and hangs out at the beach, but I love it. I just like being near the ocean. So we are now at Clovelly Beach. This one is a little bit different. We got the sand over there. If we keep walking straight, we're gonna run right into a pool, but it's very narrow. A lot of people doing laps here. It's kind of just like a big pool. Let's take a little shortcut and actually walk on the beach to the other side. If we did the walk, like the proper walk, we'd be going around the beach, but let's cheat. I don't think a lot of people know this, but most of the beaches that we are walking along today, they are mostly topless-friendly beaches. You don't really see a lot of people going topless, but if I wanted, I could take this bikini off. I'm not gonna. Here we have Waverley Cemetery, which is massive. You can't really see from this angle, but it's really big. It's very old. What a place to be buried. I heard to get a plot at Waverley Cemetery, if you want to get buried here, it's like $500,000 because the land is just so expensive being right on the ocean. Can I be buried here? Pretty please, can I be buried here? It is kind of weird that there is this massive cemetery right along this beautiful coastal walk, now that I think about it. Look how high we are already. I'm pretty sure that cliff, like the last cliff that you can see, that's North Bondi. So we can see the beaches along here. The one in the distance is Bondi. This next one, I believe, is Tamarama. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll find out. That sun is really rising right now. One of the things I love about Sydney is how we just live amongst so much nature that we kind of take it for granted. Anytime I go traveling, like to LA, or mostly to LA, you just don't get like this much nature, this much greenery, this much wildlife. And you can see there's so many houses just like right in the middle of it. Like if you look at a satellite view of Sydney, there's so much green, so many beaches as well. And it's just a really beautiful spot to live, to grow up, just to be, to visit. Kind of take it for granted sometimes. This is where they have Sculptures by the Sea, which is basically an art exhibit by the ocean that happens once a year. I've come to it quite a few times. When I lived around here, I would come almost every year. We are now approaching Bronte Beach. I love this beach. I used to come here all the time. Again, there was one cafe down this way that I would come to all the time with my parents. They had the best French toast. This is a beautiful Bronte Beach. I love this beach. There's a big ocean water pool down there. You can kind of see that. I don't know why, but the ocean water pools by beaches are always so cold compared to the actual beach. I used to always try and get in, but I'd always chicken out because it'd be just so cold. Just taking a little water break. We have 2 more beaches to conquer. It is, oh my God, it is 7:20 a.m. and I just can't believe how busy all of the beaches are. Don't people go to work? I think it's a lot of tourists and a lot of people that just live locally that come around this early, but it is a very nice way to start the day. Next stop, Tamarama. My favorite beach so far, I might be biased, but Coogee holds a special place in my heart. Although I do really love Bronte as well. I love them all. I like Gordon's Bay now that I think about it. The little one that no one was at. I don't have a favorite. They're all nice. But here we have the beautiful Tamarama Beach. This is actually one of the most expensive places to live in Australia. The beach itself isn't very busy, at least compared to the other beaches. Like it's almost empty. Look at that. But then again, there's not as many cafes right next to the beach, so maybe that's why. But I feel like this is something you don't really see in a lot of places around the world, even a lot of places by the ocean, is you don't see houses right by the beach, right by the ocean, right on the edge of cliffs. I just think it's so cool. The lifestyle is very intertwined with the beach and the ocean. I really feel like this is what people think of when they think of Australia. It's definitely a must-see if you come here. The breeze is so nice. I better keep walking before it gets too sunny, too hot. So from here you get a beautiful view pretty much of all the beaches we walk past. You can see Tamarama, Bronte, you can even see down to the Waverley Cemetery. It's just such a beautiful view. And now we have one more beach to go, the famous Bondi Beach. This kind of looks like a spot you would have a ritual of some description. Yeah, this could be like a good spot to launch a drone or a mini helicopter or have a seance. And from here we can see the beautiful Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach. It's famous for a reason. It's really beautiful. I want to have a look what's down here. There's a lot of these like little staircases that go down to you don't even know what until you get there. It might be a dead end. Does this go anywhere? It is a nice spot nonetheless. Nice and shady and breezy. and private, and yes, it is in fact a dead end. A nice little break from the sun. Unfortunately, I can't take any anemones home with me. I actually used to have a little aquarium when I lived at home. We had anemones, we had clownfish, we had angelfish, we had starfish. Yeah, all the fish. I'm being super careful because I'm very paranoid about breaking my foot again. Still recovering from that. But have a look at these rock pools. This isn't the biggest one, but even there's a lot of little sea creatures. I'm so scared to step on the shells. I don't want to hurt any. It's getting a little bit slippery. All this green stuff is moss, and it's very slippery if you step on it. I'm going in the rock pool. Oh, it's so slippery inside me. Actually, I'm not gonna step in it because I don't know if you can see this. All of this is like ocean plants. It's so soft. I'm sure there's some crabs in that hole. There are all these shells that are stuck to the rocks. They're all alive. They're all sea urchins clinging to the rocks. This one here would be a good aerial rock, although the waves aren't splashing high enough for that. I see these rock pools here. As soon as you grab one, it clings. So you have to be quick. Aha, I got you. Another one. I put you back. I should have worn sandals. My feet are wet. Wet socks. Oh. We're now approaching the south end of Bondi Beach. The famous Bondi. There's a restaurant right here on the south side of Bondi called Icebergs, which is very famous. I've actually never been, but I hear good things. It's very fancy, right on the water. I lathered on the sunscreen. I should not be getting pink already. I just witnessed a very Bondi thing. There was a guy giving out free samples of some sort of love potion. Yeah, basically he said some hippie shit, toxins, I don't know, but it was very Bondi. Bondi hippies are actually a thing, which is pretty funny when you think about it. And Bondi is one of the most expensive places to live. Yet it's full of hippies. Bondi Beach in all its glory. We started walking at about 6:30. It's now 8:30 on the dot. So a 2-hour walk with some breaks in between. So not bad. And it was so worth it. We haven't made it to the end though. We haven't made it to North Bondi. I don't know if that's included. Is that included in the official walk? Because this in itself is quite a long walk from one end of Bondi to the other. Bondi Beach is the place to go if you are a tourist or a backpacker traveling. I feel like this is a must. There are a lot of backpackers around here, and a lot of people that move from overseas come here to live specifically in Bondi. And you can see why. It's so beautiful. I think it's everything that everyone loves about Australia right here. Here we have the skate park, which I used to come to, and I tore a pair of my favorite jeans here, right in the middle of my butt tear. It was so embarrassing. A lot of trauma from that. And no one's skating yet. Where are all the skaters at? A very cool place to skate. One of the other things Bondi is famous for is all of its street art. So here's just a little example. It goes along pretty much almost the whole beach. Make kindness the norm. I feel like this artwork right here is so Bondi. Just everything about it. There's so much of like this style of artwork. Yeah, it's just very Bondi. The first place I moved out to when I moved out of home was essentially a warehouse that was full of artists. A lot of artworks like this. I wonder if there's any artists I know that have done artworks here. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like most of Sydney's street artists lived there at one point. This is very reminiscent of the warehouse I lived in because you can see here all the different artworks. There's like layers of different artworks, and where I lived, that's essentially what the whole building was covered in, just artwork on top of artwork. It got replaced like every week. There'd be a new artwork. There's a bit of beef around that as well. We weren't supposed to paint over like the respected artists' artworks. I got up at 4 a.m. for this, but it was worth it. I think we should get to the end and I'm gonna run in that water. I'm attempting to get out of the sun for a little bit before I jump in that water. And we are now approaching the end of Bondi Beach. This is North Bondi now. And I'm gonna reward myself with a dip in the ocean. I think I've earned it. The water is so refreshing and cool, especially after a long walk like that. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on the famous Coogee to Bondi walk. I know I had a good time. And I don't know about you, but I think I've earned a swim in the ocean. Until next time.